Good afternoon, grade 4. How are you? Today we will complete talking about history and how things changed throughout time. Today we will talk about the rise of civilization. What does this title mean? It means how did we become cities, civilization, people? How did we make societies from the history till now? Okay, from the past till now. Now, people who lived thousands of years ago before us used to move all the time in search of food. So, in the past, they didn't have cities, countries, villages, good places to stay in. They didn't find food. They didn't have stores, restaurants, nothing of these. So, what did they used to do? They used to move from a place to another looking for food, for water, for a good place to stay, a good weather. They were hunters and gatherers. So they used to hunt animals. Oh, we want some sheep, we want to eat, we want a deer. So they used to hunt, they gather, they move from one place to another with no permanent houses. They weren't like us, they didn't have permanent houses. There's no good shelter for them from the rain, from the heat, the cold weather. Plus, they don't have a fridge to keep their food. They don't have a market to just go and grab the food that they need. So they needed to move from a place to another, looking for the food they need, for water sometimes, and they used to fight over water because it was very difficult to find. They didn't have just taps, they turn them on and the water goes down. They didn't have places that they sell water like nowadays we do with a cooler and so on. So, no food, no water, and they needed to hunt. Sometimes they moved to a place they know it has a lot of animals, sheep, deer, camels. They didn't care, they just wanted to eat. Okay? So, they used to move, they used to hunt, and they used to, let's say, run after the animals to catch them. Okay? So they were called nomads. So when I ask who are the nomads, and we still unfortunately have some of these nomads, these are people who move from a place to another with no permanent house, no particular or certain house. They don't live in a certain place. Plus, they keep moving looking for food. Unfortunately, nowadays you can find them, search the garbage, search some people's leftovers because we don't have any more people to hunt. We don't have animals in Amman, for example, to kill them and to eat them. So they're not a good people now. They're not part of the good civilization. Civilization means al-hadara. So we are now, let's say, شعب متحضر. We live in houses, we have markets, we go buy from there. Even if some people are hunting for fun when they go, let's say, using the guns and the shotgun to shoot birds, deer, only for fun, okay? Even fishing nowadays only for fun because all the markets have all types and kinds of fish that we need. Okay, so who are the nomads again? As you can see here in the pictures, the nomads are people with no permanent house. They have their houses with them, carried either on horses, camels. They carry it with them. It's only a piece of cloth with some poles to hold it, made of wood. And they used to look for food everywhere, hunt animals, looking for a good place for them to live. Let's say a warmer place, a place with more water, more food, or maybe only more animals. Okay, so these are the nomads. These are nomads, like we call them in Arabic, el badu, or the people who keep traveling from one place to another. Now, gradually means a step by step from the history till now, from the past till now. Gradually, step by step, people started to settle down. Settle down means to have places and call them homes. This is my home. I'm not going to move anymore. It's done. Now we are a big family and I need to settle down or just live in this place. When they discovered what? When did they decide to settle down? When did they discover how to grow food from seeds? So they found the seed they used to find while they were traveling, and they learned how to grow these seeds into vegetables, fruit, beans, the things that they need to survive, instead of searching and gathering food. They also learn something else, how to raise animals instead of hunting in the wild. So instead of going looking for some animals to eat or to maybe take the milk out of them, they learned how to raise these animals, to collect, for example, chickens and raise them, take care of them, to eat their eggs, later on to maybe eat one of them. Also, they learned how to take care of the sheep, the cows, also to take their milk and later on to eat them. So, instead of looking for food, what did they learn? How to grow food from seeds they found. And instead of hunting animals, they learned how to raise animals. So, we have, let's say, developed day by day, gradually from the past till now, we, let's say, developed, became better and better. How? Because God gave us a brain and we learn. Every day we learn something new. So people started to make cities, villages, small neighbors, and to settle down, to sit in one place, stop moving around when they had two discoveries. What did they discover again? Why did they decide that's it, we're going to settle down? Two reasons. They learned how to grow food. No need for just going for long walks, looking for an orange or a piece of meat or a piece of cucumber. No, they learned how to grow plants, vegetables, fruit from these seeds they have, and instead of searching for and gathering the food. Also, number two, they learned how to raise animals, how to collect. Nowadays, we have a shepherd, a man who takes care of a group of sheep, and then he sells them and takes money to do something else. Okay, so he learned how, or the humans learned how to raise animals instead of hunting in the wild. They have their own animals. They started, of course, building houses from what did they have? They didn't have, let's say, good equipment and a lot of things to build houses from. So at the beginning, they started building from mud, straws, wood, as we can see here in the pictures, wherever they can find to make it a good home that covers them from the sun or maybe from the rain. Then, what happened? How did the civilization rise more and more? People invented, imagine, when they started planting and farming, they found it very difficult to plant soils. So, what did they do? They invented something called the plow. What is the plow? As you can see here, it's an instrument, or let's say a tool that they discovered, the people discovered that the animals could just pull it, and they, let's say, fix the soil. They make up the up, the down, up, and so on. They change the soil. I know how exactly the farming is done, but in order to put the seeds properly, they discovered this plow, and it developed farming methods that eventually led to great change in the way people lived. So when they learned how to plant these seeds to make new food, they found it a little bit hard to plant the whole land. It's very difficult, it's a big land. So, what did they discover? They invented something called the plow. Here's the plow, as you can see here in these two pictures, which developed farming methods that eventually led to a great change in the way people lived. So, when they found farming difficult, they invented plow, which helped in developing farming methods. Now, farming is a very important, let's say, sector or a very important point in human's history for the following reasons. Farming is a changing point for humanity and their civilization. Why? We have three reasons. Number one, farming provided people, since forever, with a regular supply of food. Once you plant something, you get it. So there's a regular supply of food. You're not going to become or get a shortage, or you won't have lack of food because you plant, you find. That's it. Where you plant, you find it. So farming provided people with a regular supply of food. Always we have food. Sometimes they had a surplus. What is the surplus? it's an extra food. Like, okay, I ate, the whole neighbor ate, and we still have extra. Here they started to sell what they have got. I have a lot of this item, for example, cucumber, so I start selling it. So the farming is a very important point in the human's history. So why? Because they provided the people with regular supply of food, and they had also surplus. Number two, people grew more crops, so the population increased. Okay, so people started to grow more crops, more types, different types, vegetables, fruit, different seeds. So what happened? Nomads used to move from a place to another, finding that this land has a lot of crops, a lot of their needs. So they used to settle down. So population increased. More crops, more people in one area. I planted this area with more than I need. So another family comes to live beside me, another family, another family. So how the society grew bigger from village to city. This is how it grew bigger and bigger. So the more crops, more farming, more people and population instead of just scattering, traveling from one place to another. No, they settled together in one area. Number three, people settled in one area, and as a result, farming villages appeared. Okay, so I was a nomad, and I found this village or this area planting a lot of crops. It suits me and my family, so I settled down. So what appears while people are settling down and they're still keep farming and farming big amounts now? Something called farming villages. It has appeared. Farming villages appeared. What do I mean by farming villages? As you can see here, the whole village only for farming, for planting seeds and vegetables and fruit. No houses, no cars, no streets, only farming villages. Okay, it appeared because a lot of people settled in one area, and then they of course created villages around it and cities. Okay, now I'll go to the book just to show you the 2 pages we have explained now. The rise of civilization. Here we talked about the nomads. Who are these? People who travel or move, keep moving from a place to another, looking for food, water. They hunt animals. Then we said gradually, step by step, people started to settle down when, after 2 discoveries, how to grow or plant food from the seeds instead of searching, and how to raise animals instead of hunting. Then we said that after they learned how to farm, they invented something called the plow. It helped them in the farming methods. And we said the farming is a very important point in the rise of civilization in the human's history because of 3 reasons. The farming provided people with their supply of food, regular supply of food, what they need, with surplus, extra food or extra amount. And number two, when you grew more crops, you had more people, population increased. When people, of course, the population increased, they settled down. When they settled down, something called farming villages appeared. That's it for today. Hopefully, you have enjoyed the lesson. See you, inshallah, tomorrow.